Hi, how's it going? I'm Frog. This is my puppet friend, Puppetine. How's it going?
Well, 1 second, let me fix this. Ah!
I went the wrong way.
Yeah, you hit against me. It was very hard and awkward.
I grabbed a pound of flesh. It was all slimy.
Oh no, where'd my ear go? Just kidding, it's right here.
It wasn't that. It was your brain. Or lack of.
It wasn't there to begin with. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome to the Geeky Pup Show. We are here talking about Peacemaker, a brief recap of episode 4 and a full recap of episode 5.
And before we continue, I just want to point out to all the old people of hard hearing, we did not say Pacemaker. They said Peacemaker.
No. The Pacemaker's for Robert England.
I'm all fuzzy and I love it.
But anyway, yes, so before we talk about this week's episode, we just have to say for episode 4, the main things to know is that Abadayo, who is Amanda Waller's daughter, convinced Vigilante to break into prison to try to kill Peacemaker's dad. He did not succeed and was pulled out before he could complete that, and he made it worse because his father realized, oh crap, my son is trying to kill me, even though Peacemaker had nothing to do with it. And Peacemaker learned that Economus sent his dad to prison, and that did not turn out well either. But other than that, there's only one more key piece of information. Peacemaker has a butterfly. He captured the butterfly at the end of episode 3. And we learned that Myrn, who is in charge of the operation, is actually a butterfly. Mm-hmm. Yep. With that in mind, we could talk about episode 5,
which really throws me off because we're literally at the end of episode 4. Excuse me, I just pulled an angle team there, couldn't speak. The mission for this issue, or for it's not issue, but one more time. All right, for episode 5, the mission is that they trace it back to where basically the source where they think this goo is basically what the butterflies feed on. So it has to be mass produced somewhere. They find this factory, and they go there, and the whole factory is run by just basically butterflies.
There's so much good about this episode. You just described the mission.
Well, I'm just saying, this compared to the first 3 episodes, 4 and 5 have been really picking it up. And I was trying to think about this. I kept thinking the first 3 I didn't really care about. It's kind of like WandaVision for me when I came to the series. I didn't really care for the first 3 of that. I didn't care for the first 3 of this. And it picks up really in the middle. I guess I'm just an action frog.
Yeah, I know. I've enjoyed every single episode. Episode 4 had some serious moments, and it threw me off a little bit, but it's good still.
That's a private video on my OnlyFans or OnlyFrogs.
But on this episode, you have a great mix of comedy with the serious tones that they're going.
Yes, it's become more serious than less. Before it was all humor with a little bit of seriousness. Now it's become more seriousness. And you get and it's weird because it's the opposite. You get little bouts of comedy something here, where the original first 3 episodes were all comedy, a little serious.
That moment whenever you saw Peacemaker just list off people that Economus could have said instead of his dad.
Half of them aren't even real people.
I know. But Economus didn't make a claim about that. He just complained whenever he mentioned who was it that's dead?
Oh, Michael Jackson's dead, obviously.
And he's dead. Okay, well, Bill Cosby just got out. He has time on his hands.
I mean, but also the list was on there. So it was Michael Jackson, Michael B. Jordan, Michael Jordan.
Yes, that was great.
What was the other one? Ariana Grande.
And in the end credit scene, it's not spoiling anything. The end credit scene, you see Economus say, okay, yes, I could have done any of those people, but not Ariana Grande. She looks far too innocent to commit a crime like that.
Yeah, look, at the end of each episode, there is a blooper reel. One of the scenes with outtakes.
Yeah, that's at the end of every episode.
That's what I mean. That's one of the best parts that kept me watching the show was the blooper reels.
Also, So we mentioned that they get to go in the factory, and they're supposed to play it cool. But
we guess who brings a new one of his helmets?
yes,
Peacemaker brings a helmet and has X-ray vision.
and
but first we don't know that's what's going on. He says X-ray vision online, and next before he starts shooting people. He shoots the old lady at the counter and shoots a worker with the shotgun, and
so much blood. So much.
What's the girl's name? Waller's daughter. I forgot her name is.
Abadeo.
Abadale?
Abadeo.
Abadale?
Abadeo.
I don't understand that. You have to type it out. Abigail?
Abadeo, something like that.
Anyway, Waller's daughter, we'll go with that. She, for some reason, after the headshot, she has to keep shooting. And she does it twice, and he's like, dude, Peacemaker's like, you don't have to fire a shot when they're already dead.
Yeah. And
she almost does it the third time.
We get to see Vigilante, who he is just such a good character. He wanted to bring a chainsaw in, but they wouldn't let him.
Wait, he's like, I can't hear you with a chainsaw. They went back to the truck, and Hardcore's like, no, well, I can't hear you.
Yeah, but he isn't allowed to have it. But they go in, and they notice, okay, this is where they're making this goop for butterflies, and maybe there are more butterflies.
In a large factory, too. This is a giant warehouse full of production.
We saw that.
Do you remember the Navy warehouse? Mm-hmm. Where they have all the crates in Area 54? That's how big this warehouse was. At least it felt that way.
Well, we know that the Earth has at least half its population as potential butterflies.
All the celebrities, people in power, which makes me wonder how many people are around Waller.
Good question, because we know that Mern is one. But as they're going through, they are shooting, but Vigilante and do you remember her name? The one that Peacemakers attract? Harcourt. Agent Harcourt.
Of course I remember her name. She's a hot blonde.
Oh, she's very hot.
That's why I remember her.
Yeah, James Gunn is dating her. He's been dating her since 2015.
Really? James Gunn is a weirdo. I feel bad. She must really like kinky stuff then. That's why she's called Harcourt.
But yes, they get pinned, pretty much trapped in a room. They think they're safe, but then something big comes to the attack. Peacemaker uses this grenade that he's strapped to a what is it?
It's a tank missile.
A tank missile, and he's like, I invented it today. He tosses it, and they're just decimated.
It is crazy. Like I said, I really like this episode. I wasn't really a fan of the show in the beginning. This episode really solved it. The last episode was all right with Vigilante. The problem I with Vigilante, he says Deadpool Jr. They're really turning into Deadpool, and he's not like that though. I prefer the seriousness, but I understand they really want to do more comedy. I think DC Warner Brothers sees this as their competition to Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds over at Marvel, so they need their own version. So I wouldn't be surprised if this kid gets his own version, his own movie.
If he gets his own spinoff, he might, and you know what? I'm good with it because he has proved that he is entertaining.
Oh, he's a fantastic actor. I mean, last episode, the cops are having lunch on the bench outside the prison. He walks over in his civilian clothes, grabs just basically the trash can, drags it, and then finally lifts it and throws it, hits the window. And they're like, just to get himself arrested.
Yes, it's great.
And then what doesn't even break?
But after they have handled the butterflies outside the door, Peacemaker opens the door, and they get in there.
Vigilante says, gorilla!
And a giant gorilla is attacking them.
Before we go first, did you think that was Grodd at first?
There was something in me that made me think, is that one of the smart gorillas?
Yeah, because Grodd was experiment, but then I thought about it, and they're like, oh, it's so great because even the gorilla talked to him. His Peacemaker was fighting against it. He said, "Die, humans," or something like around that term. And
I don't remember that.
But we find out after it's killed that it did have a butterfly in it. So now they learned that anything can have a butterfly. But
Even
going
frogs.
back to what we talked about with Vigilante and the chainsaw. Couldn't have it because everyone was down. No one was responding. Economics comes in with a chainsaw behind the gorilla, and you see it go through the gorilla's chest. You're seeing from the viewpoint of the gorilla, from the chest point. Like, oh my gosh! And it is just crazy gore. And I was disappointed. I thought I wanted Vigilante to say, "It was my job." What the heck, man?
Well, he says something about it later. Wouldn't it have been cooler if I got handed the chainsaw was thrown to me? I think that would have been. But no, that's just him being a little jealous. We see this. Tillium says this almost reminds me of the They Live movie. Have you seen that, Froggy?
Well, yeah. Who hasn't seen it? If you haven't seen it, have you? That's a question. Have you seen it? I know you're younger than I am.
I can't be younger than you. You're a frog, a baby frog.
I'm not a baby frog.
Look at your size.
If I was a baby frog.
Mm-hmm. The puppets are back, yes, and we'll be back once again at 8:30. Do not forget that time. And
8:30 Eastern.
They were made me watch Batwoman the other day. I did. Well, no, it was really Froggy pushing for it, but you got to experience some of our pain.
What are you talking about? You didn't watch anything, man. You saw what I saw because this guy's Wi-Fi was bad. We just saw color and heard audio. It was like listening to an audio file.
That was even less painful than anything.
I guess Skip was here. Good God, later.
I didn't know you were here, but so long, Skip.
He lurks in the darkness.
Yes.
Skip.
But finishing up, because we got to go ahead and talk about.
Yeah, we need to finish up. We're going too long. I know. I don't want hardcore to get all excited because I'm going long.
But after speaking of hardcore. They are just jamming out to some music. I wish I could remember the name because
it's Swedish metal. That's all you know.
11th Street Kids is the name of the song, and Harcourt makes a group chat and sends a photo of them just rocking out, and it's a little different from her character.
I thought she did a video. She recorded a video. I thought.
Oh, I thought it was just a picture, but
who cares? Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, they send it.
Yeah, so we got group chat. So and she's stuff, and what's his name? Replies back with a Mermaid Icon, and over at Peacemaker's house.
Yeah,
he because he invited what's her name out into Waller's daughter.
Yes.
Yes, and over for a drink. And he says what an idiot, He's like he made a joke crack about how Vigilante's obsessed with the Mermaid Icon, trying to make it stick, but no, it's not funny.
Well, he says it can mean anything. That's why Vigilante likes it, because it can mean happy, sad, and everything else. And she asks, "Isn't that kind of just a pointless emoji?" And Peacemaker says, "Yes, but it's
that drink that they made though."
Yes.
And the best part is that he made a mixed drink. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is great." And then Waller's daughter drinks it. Basically, almost wants to puke. She runs to the bathroom and gets scared. It just basically scared the shit out of her. Is Eagly. No, he wasn't Mr. Jinxie. He was not flushing the toilet. He wasn't doing that stuff. He was just sitting on there randomly. I guess he needed a place to hide.
Eagly just does what eagles do. But yes, and they have a good conversation about Harcourt and how he hopes to have a chance with her. And then he has to go to the bathroom. And she plants the diary that Waller wanted her to plant.
Which really makes me think they're going to set up Peacemaker at the end.
I think they're going to do that too.
All the deaths, they have to say that he went on it's a confession.
Yeah. Just a few more things to mention here. We see Augie Smith, which is Peacemaker's dad. He tries to say, "Hey, look at the fingerprints," and they get the couple to admit that they lied. But it doesn't matter because Myrn called in a special operative to take over as the police, not commissioner, the police captain for the precinct. And he says, "No, there's nothing wrong here. We're going to charge Augie Smith." Dun dun. And one final thing. Abigail afterwards, she feels bad because she can't be with her wife. So she goes ahead and heads back to the office. Peacemaker left his helmet there. She puts it on and activates X-ray vision. Looks through her hands and is like, oh, this is so cool. Mern, you got to see this. Looks at Mern and sees the butterfly in his head. She screams and Mern goes after her with that butterfly screech and they run out to the street. Ultimately, Abigail ends up on the ground and Mern is screaming above her, and that's where the episode ends. It's very, I'm not sure where they're going to go with this.
I want to point out there is another awesome actor who appeared on this show that was hired by Mern to be supposed as replace the warden at the jail cell. This guy is also known as he killed Captain Locke in Peacemaker, and his name is Christopher Heyerdhl. Heyerdhl or something like that. He's been in on a cool show called Hell on Wheels. That's what it was. Yeah, over at that was on AMC. He's on there. He was a Swede. He was recently on a Van Helsing show. He played Sam. He was a evil person on there. This guy is a professional evil actor. He's awesome. Check him out. But yeah, I'm not sure who's Captain Locke in this. He says he's going to be on it for 4 episodes in this season. So.
Oh, well, Zach Richmond is in the audience. Our Spider-Man, which will be in about 30 minutes. Don't miss that. But he has caught up with the show. We'll make sure to have you on next week then, man, because that can help out, you know. But doesn't care for all the language, but had fun with the action scenes. Absolutely. MK is wondering if Peacemaker is our current favorite comic book show or DC show, period. That's very hard to say. I
would say it's probably my top 5.
I could definitely agree I'd say top 3. Honestly,
I'm my number 1 show right now being Superman and Lois. Actually, take it back, Stargirl, then Superman and Lois.
My order goes Stargirl, Superman and Lois, and then this. I think because just because Superman and Lois has a wholesome vibe.
This is at 4. Because Resident Alien is at 2 for me. Then
I'm talking about DC shows. I'm sorry.
Well, okay. I'm sorry.
I have to turn off the camera for just a moment. But
it is a very good show. And Garth Ennis just came out with an actual Peacemaker comic book one shot. And it's I gotta say, man, Garth Ennis is great. If you've ever checked out his Punisher work, because he made Peacemaker. He got rid of all the silliness in the show. And put it back to being what Peacemaker was, a serious actual character. So check out that one shot. This came out this week. Awesome. It's actually an actual DC book that's actually worth buying and reading.
There are a few of those, I will admit, and I'm interested in checking it out. But that about does it for us. I think now is a good time to go ahead.
Time to wrap it up. Use protection and subscribe. Which one, cheese?
Well, we were going to say to make sure to like, comment, let us know your thoughts on the show. Is this one of your favorites? Maybe you should go ahead and answer MK's question. Is this one of your favorite comic book shows right now? Or even just DC shows? Hell, just shows in general. And certainly one of mine. But we really want to thank you for checking us out. Make sure to, like we said, like, comment, and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. And we're so glad to have the people that are here right now and people who will come in later. So, for Froggy and myself, one last thank you before we say bye!
Remember, only you can prevent yourself from watching Batwoman on CW. Good night.
Hey.